Hello, everybody. It's Friday. That means it's time for another topic of the week. So, as we sit here on this Friday, I'm preparing to head to Buckeye Battles this weekend. Very fun GT. So, looking very much forward to that. I have a horrible, horrible army in mind that should promptly lose every game. And in addition to that, it's Skaven. So, hey, at the same time, I can get bad player votes. So, I'm really thinking that'll be a fantastic combination, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So that put me in the mind of tournaments. There's been a lot of consternation in the community recently over with AOS and tournaments and how will tournaments use this stuff and can we have tournaments with this? The short answer is yes, of course. As long as there are people who want to play in tournaments, there will be tournaments. I've already seen several great packs. There's a couple really good ones out of Australia that I really liked from like the Dwellers Below and stuff like that. So check those out. But at any rate, I have no doubt that given the strength of this community, there will be plenty of great compacts and things like that for tournaments very shortly. So I thought for this topic of the week, we would move away from all that. Let's get away from the controversy for a minute and let's just talk about tournaments. So, what do you like in a tournament? What do you want to see? What are there rules? Do you like a heavy comp or not? Do you like a big tournament? 5 games, 6 games? What do you hope to get out of the tournament experience? Do you like to go there to really test your might, to play new players, to win the tournament, or just to hang out and drink beer? Which is another very good choice. There's lots of great reasons to go to tournaments and meet other members of the community, which could also be another great reason. But I want to know what you think. Why do you go to tournaments if you do? And if you don't, why don't you go to tournaments? What's keeping you away? Are there none in your area? Would you go if you could? So, that's, I think, what this topic of the week should be about. The other thing I'd like is I'd love a good tournament story. If you've got a great tournament story, you know, just something that's really that sticks out in your mind as being a great moment from your tournament experiences. Could be where in 2 of the 5 games you sucked your wizard down the hole in a dimensional cascade at the top of one, and yet you still won both of those games, or something crazy like that, whatever the case. Or your opponent got so drunk they passed out halfway through the game and you got a game win by, sort of by default. That would be the other end of that spectrum. I accept either. Any fun, interesting, exciting story from a tournament, I would love to see those shared. Because to me, even though I'm not as big a tournament goer as many people, I do love them. It's a lot of fun. Goes all the way back to when I used to play Magic, and I liked Magic tournaments as well. And there's a sort of strange atmosphere that I've only really felt at a tournament when you get that many people together who all have a really shared common interest in this one thing, and everybody's there and charged and excited and talking about it. It's a great atmosphere, and it's something that really is very hard to replicate. One of the things I think in the last Lone Hammer that Randy was talking about was the sort of great attitude that's in the room and how much he loves Warhammer weekends. And I've got to agree with him that it is a great thing. So that's the topic of the week. That's what I want to see you share. For me personally, I will actually share a story that doesn't have to do with Warhammer. My story is to the first large Magic tournament I ever placed in. It was the first time I ever decided to build like a true competitive deck. I built it the night before the tournament. I had been playing almost one type of deck, which was White Weenie. This was back in 1990, let's say 5, and maybe 96. And that night I decided to assemble a really hard-edged competitive deck that was all about cheating out Sarah Angels and Juggernauts and Aaron the Relentless on turn 1 with Moxes and Mana Bolts and crap like that. And I went into that tournament and crushed some face, only to lose in the finals and get second place. And why? Because I didn't read the rules of the opponent's cards I was facing. I faced an unusual card and lost the game because I didn't bother to ask to flip it around and read it. Crying shame. Could have absolutely had the game in the bag and handed it away. But I looked at that as a great learning experience, and it really shaped a lot of how I thought about tournaments from then on, in not being afraid to ask my opponent things, and to realizing that oftentimes when things go bad in a competitive game, it's probably on, like it's easy to look at your side of the table and see where you could have done better. And don't be down about it. You just got to reflect and learn from it. And that's what I did, and I think I became a better tournament player because of it. It was a lot of fun, though, to cheat out some Sarah Angels on turn one, no doubt. The crazy days of early Magic. So, there's my fun tournament story, and yours doesn't even have to be Warhammer related. If you've got a great tournament story you want to share from a Warmahordes or a Malifaux or Magic or anything, I'd love to hear it. And I think the community would too. It's this kind of discussion that makes us all remember why we're all together as a community and why we like to share all these stories with each other. So I can't wait. What do you want to see from tournaments? Maybe what you're hoping to see in the Age of Sigmar from tournaments. What are your best experiences in the past? All right? So there you go. Topic of the week, done. See you next time.